It's been a couple of days, so maybe you've been asking yourself, is Web3 still doing just great? And I'm here to tell you, maybe. Let's have a look. What's been happening? Individuals lose millions in, quote, permit phishing scams. Between March and April of 2023, the Scam Sniffer organization has identified at least 7.7 million stolen by so-called permit phishers. These attackers convinced their victims to sign malicious crypto transactions that use the permit functionality, which allows the attackers to siphon funds from the crypto wallets. I realized just now that I've swapped how I was pronouncing permit and permit. Don't know why I do that. It's just a day in the life of changing how you speak repeatedly so people understand you, hopefully, and then still being told you're doing it wrong anyways. So this type of attack has existed for over a year, but there have been some high-value instances of the attack lately. On March 11th, Scam Sniffer, for some reason, when I read Scam Sniffer, I just think of nonce hunters, and this is going to be a wild tangent. I've thought about doing a video on stuff like this for a while, but if you're not from England, you might not know what the term nonce means. You also then won't know what a nonce hunter is. I'm not even sure if this video is going to get demonetized for me saying these words. But basically, you know how in America you've got like, or at least used to have that Chris Hansen guy, you know, have a seat right over there. Luring the nonces, which I'll explain what that word means. I mean, you can understand what it means from the context. Luring the people who are trying to do some very untoward things with children, horrible people, of course, and he'd sit them there and confront them with the messages and things like that on camera, and then they'd get arrested. Well, nonce hunters are basically in the UK, they're Facebook groups typically of just regular workers. They're mechanics, you know, they work in your local cinema, mums or whatever else, just regular old people, usually from council estates and stuff like that, not very rich people from middle class backgrounds or whatever. What they'll do is take it upon themselves as vigilantes to start their own group, and they always have weird names like Angel something. Basically, they just make it their entire goal in life to catch nonces. Now, what is a nonce? A nonce, I fucking love that word. It's just such a good word. It's one of the classic English amazing words. Well, nonce, some people think it's just slang for pedo, but it's not. It actually has a meaning. I know this because my dad told me about it, because my dad was in prison at one point, and basically in prison, if somebody's on nonce, it means they're not on normal courtyard exercise, which obviously abbreviates down to nonce. So obviously it's prison lingo. When somebody says, oh, that guy's on nonce, it means he can't go out on the courtyard when the normal prisoners are out there because they'll kill him. And I just want to clarify, my dad was in for football hooliganism as a typical British thing. That's a mad tangent from the word Scam Sniffer, but there you go. That's just all I could think about it, because there's some classic YouTube videos of people just hunting nonces. And of course, they usually record it when they do it, and then they're just asking them questions like, why are you a nonce? Believe me, nobody set a challenge of how many times I could fit that word into a completely unrelated video. But if they did, I'd have fucking smashed it, because that word, it's been said a lot. I wonder if that's against YouTube's ad guidelines, because you can't say the C word anymore. Okay, let's get back on track. Scam Sniffer tweeted that they detected 162 instances of the scam, totaling almost $4 million stolen over the prior 2 days. On March 24th, an individual wallet lost $4 million. Similar attacks on April 19th, 21st, and April 30th saw individual wallets lose 449,000, 1.04 million, and 2.28 million respectively. Holy shit. So they're targeting some fucking whales as well. Imagine thinking you had $4 million in your crypto wallet, and then you sign in and you don't. I don't know how I'd live. I sincerely don't. Because can you imagine your bank? You've got all your money in investments through like a bank account or whatever, and then you just log on one day and it's just all gone. Obviously in the real world, if the bank lost all your money, unless the bank went bankrupt, and then obviously in the US you've got like FDIC insurance, which is up to like a couple $100,000 or whatever it is. But if the bank was still solvent and they just in error lost your money, I'd imagine you'd get a refund on that. But in crypto, obviously you don't get fuck all. Maybe like a tiny little violin playing for you in the background, but realistically you don't get anything. Thoughts and prayers, maybe. So Poloniex, saying that wrong definitely, pays 7.6 million settlement for sanctions violations. Everyone's violating some sanctions recently. US entity that previously controlled, I'm not even going to try to say that name again, the crypto exchange has agreed to pay a $7.6 million fine to settle allegations that it violated US sanctions against Crimea, Cuba, Iran, Sudan, and Syria. The US Treasury Department's Office of Foreign Assets Control, OFAC, I can't not make the joke, alleges that between January 2014 and November 2019, they allowed citizens in those jurisdictions to use the platform despite knowing their locations thanks to KYC and IP address information. OFAC alleges that there were nearly 66,000 apparent sanctions violations, which amounted to more than $15 million in transactions. Now, obviously, some people are going to not like this because essentially what they're saying is the US government, the federal government, is deciding who's allowed to use this thing. But I will just say they are within their right. If you are a US business doing business in the US, you do have to adhere by their laws and their sanctions and things like that. Otherwise, just like if you're a US citizen and you're in the US, you have to abide by the US laws. It's the same thing. You can have a conversation about like sanctions and whether they're good or not. But this company doing $15 million in transactions when they know it's against the law, can't argue against that one. That is going to get you fact. So it was a US-based crypto exchange founded in 2014, which in 2018 was purchased by Circle, who intended to get rid of the illegal activity for which it was known. Oh, I had no idea about this. I've never heard of this exchange. So it can't have been a very big one, surely. However, when they discovered that the customers who used it no longer wanted to use it once they were subjected to scrutiny, they sold the platform to Justin Sun in late 2019. Justin Sun's the Tron guy, right? Who is recently, I do believe, been named in some lawsuits and was it some federal scrutiny as well? Who relocated it to the Seychelles and shut down US operations. Oh, mate, nothing in the world says I'm a legit businessman than company comes in and buys a business that's known for facilitating illegal activities. The people doing the illegal activities go, I'm not going to use it anymore if I can't do illegal things then. And then this guy comes in who, every time I read his name recently, it's related to some form of controversy. He comes in, buys it, and he's like, yeah, fucking want to do them shady things still, so we're going to move it from the US to the Seychelles. It appears that the OFAC fine will apply to the US entity more recently controlled by Circle and not to Justin Sun's operation. In August 2021, they also paid more than $10.3 million to settle allegations from the US Securities and Exchange Commission that it had operated as an unlicensed exchange. Mate, how much money were they making? They're paying some real fines. Level Finance exploited for $1.1 million. Low-level finance, as we like to call it. The Level Finance decentralized perpetual exchange was exploited after an attacker discovered a vulnerability in one of the project's smart contracts, or as we like to call it, dumb contracts. They were able to drain 214,000 level tokens, which they swapped to 3,345 BNB, which is Binance's smart chain token, Binance token, whatever it's called. The contract had been audited by Obelisk and QuantStamp, but neither firm apparently discovered the vulnerability. Good audit then. Nice, good job. The attack caused the level token to drop substantially in price, plunging from around $9 to as low as $4.20, blaze it, before recovering to around $7, a loss of 22%. Nothing says stability like a vulnerability being exploited that nobody knew about, stealing $1.1 million, and then for whatever reason people are still like, yeah, I will still store my value in this token, and it will go up from $4.20 to $7. CZ smacks down Justin Sun for trying to game SUI airdrop. I know what some of these words mean. I know CZ is the CEO of Binance. I know what Justin Sun is. He's the Tron guy we were just talking about. I don't know what SUI is. Binance launch pool are meant as airdrops for our retail users, not just for a few whales, tweeted Changpeng CZ Zhao. The CEO of Binance, after seeing an alert showing that Justin Sun had transferred $56 million to Binance. Launch pool is a process in which Binance users can farm various tokens, now including SUI, and receive rewards. Our team told Justin, fuck off Justin, you're not doing it again. If he uses any of these to grab the launch pool SUI token, we will take action against it. SMH. Love a good CEO tweet in which he says, shaking my head. SMH. Lamau. Indeed, it later turned out that Sun's team had farmed around 279,000 SUI tokens. SUI does not yet have a reliable dollar price because it is set to launch later this month. Sun blamed the event on a TUSD market maker, writing, quote, "Regrettably, some of our team members were not fully aware of the intended purpose for these funds and inadvertently used a portion of them to participate in exchange campaigns. Upon realizing this error, we immediately contacted the exchange team and arranged for a full refund of the funds." Yeah, totally reliable narrator here. Those replying to his comment seemed more than a little skeptical that the incident was truly a mistake. Yeah, what a mistaker to make her. Oh, somebody accidentally took my millions of dollars and accidentally tried to make lots of money with it. I wonder why they did that. As if you've just got 56 mil lying around to the point where people just don't know what they're supposed to be doing with it. Justin, what were this 56 million for? He's not telling us, is he? He's got no idea either. It's fucking beggars belief, mate. OKX suddenly drastically limits withdrawals for users who haven't completed KYC. This is, I do believe, reasonable because KYC is obviously a big deal to stop money laundering, and basically any regulator will ream your asshole if you don't perform KYC. As regulatory groups have started to pay more attention to crypto platforms, it hasn't been terribly unusual to see them tighten their identification requirements, particularly for customers engaging in high-value transactions. However, the Seychelles-based OKX exchange suddenly and without warning implemented a $5,000 total withdrawal limit for users of its crypto exchange that hadn't provided detailed information, leaving some users who were unwilling to provide such identification with large sums of crypto assets trapped on the exchange. Play stupid games, win stupid fucking prizes. Like, people are going to make the argument, and I understand to an extent, of why does the man have to know about my money and what I'm doing with it? And they're not wrong, obviously. So I do understand the want for privacy, but at the same time, there are reasons for checks and balances for people moving large sums of money, one of which being the T word that the US government really likes to use when basically anything comes up, so they can get their hands on whatever they need. Previously, users who had submitted only the base level of identification were able to deposit or withdraw $50,000 per day. These users weren't notified of the change even when they deposited funds, and only discovered the new limit when they went to withdraw or heard about it on social media. Now, this is fucking shady. Oh yeah, well, taking your money. Not gonna tell you that you can't take it back out, by the way. It's not clear when precisely the change went into effect, but reports of the limitations began appearing in April 2023. Funds held hostage. Just give them your fucking details, mate. But people do love using these specific crypto exchanges that just allow illegal behavior. Obviously, the US government at this point are like, we're just going to fucking wreck all of you into the ground if you're doing that, because enough's enough. The amount of money that's been laundered, the amount of money that's been transferred to places where they're saying you're not allowed to send money, the amount of money that's been stolen, scammed, hacked by foreign nation state actors and things like that. I think the US government's pretty done on this now. We've seen so many fucking regulatory bodies step in, lawsuits civilly, people being taken to criminal court. So yeah, this doesn't surprise me at all, but it is fucked up to just change it without telling anyone. And then also allow people to deposit funds and just be like, oh, got your money, got your nose, got your millies. But there we go. Is Web3 going just great? I'd say yes, but firm double thumbs up from me. Web3 appears to be going just great, and I'm sure when we check in another couple of days, it'll be going just great as well then. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace out.